All right, so I'm very pleased to introduce our final presenter today, a very long-time friend of TCG's and myself, and a platinum sponsor within the portfolio. So for those that are going to Ireland on President's Club, you will definitely see Star2Star out there as well. Star2Star has done an absolutely fantastic job for a lot of our large enterprise customers. In fact, I'm proud to say that they have a 100-location site that is up and running, and the customer is consistently adding to the solution, which is probably the best compliment that any provider, let alone a voice provider, can receive. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce a longtime friend of TCG's and myself, and that's Mr. Todd Catlett, to talk about Star2Star solutions.
Thank you, Kevin. You know, we do one thing and we do it extremely well. You know, we provide unified communications as a service to SMB, to enterprise customers, and we have a unique technology. We own our intellectual property, and so I want to go through just a handful of slides and share with you some of the unique differentiation that we have in the market space, because in reality, there are about 500 hosted providers in the United States, a little under 500. 9 companies own intellectual property, and we are one of the 9. So we have currently 7 patents that have been granted. We have 18 that are pending. We do things very, very differently, right? We have a unique methodology about how we go to market and how we provide implementation processes for our customers. And so let me share some of this with you. You know, this is some of our recognized success. We've been in the Gartner Magic Quadrant now for 5 years, and I can tell you, just recently finding out of channel partners, Gartner is changing the metrics for how they measure companies to get in. And next year, you're only going to see companies that actually own intellectual property in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. And so it's going to be a little different because there are a lot of Me Too providers, right? There's a lot of BroadSoft providers, a lot of Metaswitch providers, and those are wonderful technologies. But the reality is, I believe we have a better mousetrap. And so we currently have over 58,000 businesses. We're actually right around 800,000 endpoints right now. And we're about 400 employees. And one of the things that I'm currently, most excited and proud about is our retention rate is higher than everyone in this space. 99.85%. We just don't lose customers very often. When we do, it's a big deal to us. So from a partner standpoint, that you want to keep your annuity going, we never want to give a customer a reason to leave. We do next business day replacement on everything that we provide, 24/7 support, 365, English speaking. We're never going to go offshore because we're on the GSA contract. And so those things, again, are important to your customers. And we're 100% channel, as our friends at BCN, which again, I think provides a lot of value. We don't have to compete with a direct sales force. We don't have inbound telemarketers taking calls and selling our solution. Our success is built on yours. And so, we're doing everything we can to engage with our partners, be involved with them, and supply all the support that we can. We have a very deep bench of people, wonderful sales engineering talent. I have a couple of my teammates here with me today. Sean Corrigan, who runs the state of Florida, regional area director. Laura Oberle is here somewhere. She may be out there. Laura's the senior vice president of Southeast. And Frank Diaz, who would do all the quotes for everyone in the state of Florida. So again, we're trying to do everything that we can to make it easy to do business and help close business. Some of the direct value props, again, channel only. We're currently the 5th largest provider in the country in the UCaaS space. 5.9 guaranteed uptime. And when you add SD-WAN and 4G LTE, it's about as close to 100% as you can possibly get. Free next business day replacement. Automatic software updates, no charge for that. We also have the ability to sell in seats or in lines. All of the providers that you probably are aware and have utilized in the past sell in a seat model. That's typical in the space. And with that seat model, every seat gets a concurrent SIP session. We have the ability to sell in what we call our line pooling, where we can aggregate and we can do this in different ratios. The current average in the enterprise space in America is a 4-to-1 call ratio outside of call centers. So we have the ability to do 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1. We actually did a school recently at 10-to-1, and I can tell you that the economics change dramatically when you're doing line pooling. And when you get north of 50 seats, typically the value is much greater to do the line pooling versus seats. We have a complete full spectrum of communication solutions. We can deliver to just about any device. We have our soft phones. We have applications for iPhone and for Android. And then last week, this is really cool. We announced that we are a master service provider for Citrix. Citrix had been working with us in the past year to deliver our UCaaS solution in their Zendesk application. So now all of our partners have the ability to sell what we call Star2Star, desktop as a service, where you can deliver all of the Microsoft applications, any other third-party applications, and have a UCaaS component delivered to any device anywhere in the world, securely and encrypted, and have a UCaaS component in there. So we're excited about that because Citrix is a $4.5 billion company, as you know, it's headquartered here in Fort Lauderdale. They could have gone with anyone, but our solution and our technology actually worked, and I've seen it work. It's amazing. I've seen it on an iPad, I've seen it on a laptop. It's pretty slick, and now you guys have the ability to sell that solution as well. Full sales and marketing and technical support. And I want to tell you some of the things we do that are very unique and different. We have a boutique advertising agency inside of our organization. I believe there are 14 people in our marketing department. Their lives are dedicated to supporting our partners. We can do all kinds of wonderful things to help you. We have all kinds of collateral. It's all co-brandable. We have a marketing platform. We utilize a company called Zift. And it would cost you guys individually for a company $65,000 a year to have that platform. We give it to you for free. We can help you design campaigns. All of that is to help you drive additional revenue. And so if anyone has interest in that, certainly see us after we're done. We will get you set up to show you how that works and the things that you're capable of doing at no charge. Technology differentiation. This is huge. Again, many of you have probably sold BroadSoft solutions. But these are the things that set us apart from them. We have the full spectrum. It's a unique cloud architecture. We can do two-way traffic shaping, and we have a patent on this. So we have a device that goes on site that can manipulate the packets. Not only can we do intelligent things outbound, but we can prioritize voice on the inbound side, and no one else in the market space can do that. And that's very slick. And again, we can provide quality of service, high definition voice over any kind of connectivity. We have DSL customers, unbelievable. We're only using 32 kilobits per call path. We use G729A as our codec. So we can squeeze out 2 calls on an analog phone line, and no one else in the space can do that. When you talk about having an emergency backup. Yes, to provide quality of service, to prioritize the voice packets over all other data packets. So it's a device that goes on site. We call it our Starbox Cloud Connection Manager. It's actually an SD-WAN optimized for voice only, but it has dual WAN connectivity. You can have 4G LTE failover, and it will manipulate the packets inbound and outbound. Another thing is the phones actually register locally to the device. They're not going out to a soft switch to register and come back in. An advantage it gives us is our ability, because we're not doing NAT traversal, which is very difficult with SIP. You're not supposed to do it. People have figured out how to make it work. But all of the providers in the space can't see behind their edge device. And so if you have call quality issues, the provider will ask you to get on a phone and they'll want to trace packets outbound because that's all they can do. The reality is the problem might exist on the LAN, and it could be a firmware or software issue on a phone, and the reality is because we have our device, we're bridging the 2 calls together, we have the ability to see to the endpoint. And when we talk about mean time to restore, we can fix things a lot faster. And so one of the unique things that we're doing is every 30 minutes, our cloud soft switch will call down to the Starbox, and it will play tones down to the Starbox. The Starbox will then in turn around and repeat the tones back to the soft switch. It's a PESCI score, a perceptual evaluation of speech quality. It's a much more refined than a MOS score for voice calling. And there's no ambiguity with respect to tones. They're perfect or they're not. And if they're not perfect, what happens in the background, unbeknownst to everyone, and because the customer may think the call quality is fine, but we know that there's an issue. So we open a trouble ticket in the background and look to resolve the problem. And a lot of times people don't even have any idea that there was. But if the tones weren't perfect, we know that there's some issue. That goes on every 30 minutes, 24/7, 365. We own our intellectual property. One of the cool things, too, that we do is auto failover, but we also do auto fail back. So you're connected to 2 circuits. The primary goes down. We will fail over to the secondary. Once the primary circuit is restored, we will move the traffic back. With everyone else, you've got to do some kind of manual intervention. A phone call, maybe it's unplug a cable, swap the cables out. You don't have to do any of that. It will just seamlessly move back. Internal calls on the LAN, we use no bandwidth. You're not going out to a soft switch to talk to someone in a cubicle down the hall to come back in. And I can tell you, Local survivability is a big thing for a lot of large organizations that have a lot of internal calling. And again, they're using no bandwidth, right? If you have a lot of internal calls, you're using 2 legs. Everyone else uses G711, so the uncompressed data is somewhere between 80 and 110 kilobits per call path. Now you're using 2 of those, and so you can chew up a lot of your bandwidth for internal phone calls. And I can tell you, I've won a very large county operation up in the Carolinas for this, because their #1 priority was local survivability if they lost all connectivity. 90% of their calls were internal. And so if you run across a customer like that, again, something we can solve. The pesky scores I've talked about, we have a pro services team, so we can do a lot of customization and integration for people that other folks may or may not be able to do. We're a software company first and foremost. We're not a telephone company that is licensing someone else's technology. We own this end to end. There's no finger pointing. You know, we ride over the top on whatever carrier solution that the people have, and we're going to test that before we ever do an implementation. So we have a very unique methodology to the implementation process. We run a little Java applet for 48 to 72 hours on the network, and it gives us 578 observations on the network. It emulates having our Starbox on site kind of pounding away at the network. And then we get all of this information and data back, and for us it's pass or fail. And if it's fail, we're clearly not going to do an implementation. And I can tell you that the carriers cannot hide from us, because we can give them exact IP interfaces where things are going poorly on their network. Then mysteriously they always get fixed, right? The green light, and they say, okay, you're good to go. Then at that point we will do the implementation. But as part of the process, what we do in the interim is we're building all of this in the background in Sarasota. We build it, we test everything. The phones come out of the box, the firmware and software is loaded onto it, and then they burn it in and they make a test call in and outbound on the phone. And then it's put back in the box and it's labeled. Here's the DID, we know who this phone is going to. So before the equipment arrives on site at their customer premise, we already know that everything works, which allows for a much smoother and cleaner implementation, which is typically where the train gets off the track with respect to hosted installations and where the pain starts, right? Very frustrating. Nobody wants phone calls. We don't want them. I know our partners don't want them. So again, by doing these things, we take a lot of the opportunity for those things to go bad out of the way. The next thing we do, then the installation partners are all certified by Star2Star. So it's a whole white glove approach, concierge approach to delivering a solution that, again, the customers find to be a pleasant experience versus having, you know, to pull their hair out. And so that's one of the reasons that our retention rate is so high too, which again is important to everyone here, right? Because we're all trying to build annuities and grow our revenues.
I had a location for you guys that I had an SD-WAN. The customer was moving, and your tech actually stood up our SD-WAN.
Oh, nice.
And then plugged all your stuff on top of it.
Well, we try to make it real easy too. Again, everything's color-coded, the cables, it's pretty simple. But what happens again in implementation is they're not running around loading firmware, right? They're placing phones on desks. Typically, we've already deployed all this and it's running in parallel to their existing phone system. We don't like to do hot cuts, and then we just migrate over when the port happens, and then it can get rid of all the other stuff. But it leaves a very positive customer experience, and that lends itself to longevity in contracts. Now, I can tell you, people just don't leave very often as customers. And we have customers going back to the very beginning, and that they'll continue to just renew. We don't want to give them a reason to leave, right? Give them great value, wonderful service, support, and you know, replace anything that breaks. We just don't want our customers to go out hunting. And I can tell you, when I get in front of a customer, I tell them, I'm not here to sell you a contract. I'm here to get a customer for life. We don't ever want to give a customer an opportunity to leave us. And one of the coolest things that we do is our ability to share the SIP sessions dynamically. And I talked about the ratios and the things that we can do that change the economics. And just to give you an example, Family Dollar, Dollar General is our single largest customer with almost 15,000 locations, analog lines, DSL, and when they came to us just a little over 5 years ago, they had 9,000 stores. They had 9,000 analog phone lines. We were able to do that with 3,000 SIP sessions. Again, they're across the country, kind of follow the sun, and we will never busy anyone out, but it reduced their billing $2.6 million a year. They had every carrier in America that you could think of. I think they had 131 carriers that they were billing. Nothing was uniform. They had this giant department that did telephone auditing every month. Now with us, they have one person to do auditing. The bill is uniform no matter where the store is. And they typically open about a store per week. And we have one person dedicated in Sarasota that puts us all on the backboard, builds it all, ships it to the location ready to go. But again, when you get into a larger footprint customer, we have the ability to do some things that other people just couldn't. You know, if you had 1,000 locations and, you know, there was 3 or 4 phone lines per location, those people are extremely over-trunked, and we can come in there and actually right-size it and never busy them out. That's what's really critical, right? We always try to start on the low side and where we think it's going to work out. And then what we'll do is we'll monitor that billing for the first couple of months, and we charge a bursting premium for every call over their committed rate. In 6-second increments. And what will happen is we will go back to the customer and say, you know, you've been bursting 10 or 12 SIP sessions. What we're going to do is credit you back. We'll add those to the contract, and we'll credit you back all of the bursting charges so that everything is right-sized. Again, this is our device that goes on site, our Starbox optimized SD-WAN for voice only. But we have different sizes. So you have a small, medium, and large, if you will. And then we have an even larger device that we use in our call center applications. Again, VoIP gateway, local survivability. We can do our call recording on site, and then it'll be offloaded to the cloud at night. It does a lot of cool things, and we manufacture these, and this is a great opportunity for all of you. You can't go price shop our Starbox, and so I tell everyone, this is a very unique thing. You can add margin to this, and we pass that through at 100%. I know Sean had a guy add $60,000, and we passed that through at 100%. Now that was a little egregious, however, it was still below what the customer was paying. And they were copier guys, if I'm not mistaken, right? And they built it into the lease. And so the customer had a spend number, and they actually pumped it up to get there by adding $68,000, and we passed that through at 100%. So there's more than 2 ways to make money with us. You know, we have our spiffs and we have our monthly recurring annuity. But again, you can do installations, we can add maintenance, we can add margin, and pass those things through to our partners. This is kind of key to our success. We call this our Constellation Network, and this was built from the ground up. So we have 7 data centers in the U.S., 2 primaries in Chicago and Dallas. But the others were co-located with Level 3 at the backbone of the internet, the PSTN gateways. So we can hand that SIP traffic back to the PSTN where we need to. Again, these are all fully meshed, working together, and it's an intelligent routing engine that is ever evolving. The more customers we bring on, the more networks we see, the more capabilities that we have. And I can tell you what's really cool is we could take down all of them but one and still have 2x capacity to run our entire customer network. So when you talk about, you know, built for resiliency and the ability to always be up, we're getting 100% call capture no matter what. We have only had 1 soft switch go down, and that was in Manhattan at 60 Hudson. When Superstorm Sandy came in and flooded the island, we knew that was going to happen, and we purposely took that soft switch offline. We were down about 12 or 13 seconds, and everything reverted to Chicago or McLean, Virginia. So if you were in a phone call, you would have dropped that call, but if you hit redial and you had connectivity, you would have automatically been rerouted through either Chicago or McLean, Virginia, and reestablished a connection. And as you guys know, many people were down for weeks after that event happened, and it was, you know, imperceptible to us. Again, 12 or 13 seconds. Voice quality assurance, you know, we guarantee that. We're going to give you 5 nines of uptime, and if you add the 4G LTE, you're about as close to 100% as you can possibly get. You know, and we have a lot of different options now. We have our primary go-to-market, which has been our hybrid technology, our solution with our Starbox on site. We call that our Star Cloud Plus. We have Star Cloud, which is now just the pure hosted, where we can do that over the top. For those people that don't want that device, you can mix and match. You could have a headquarters that has quality of service issues and wants to have it, and then a bunch of remote branches with 2 or 3 phones, 5 phones, whatever. We can just bring those up on the cloud and have it all work together. We can do it with SD-WAN. Full disclosure, we have white labeled Big Leaf. It works incredibly well, so we can provide that, and you get paid on the spiffs and the monthly recurring the same. We also have the 4G LTE failover solution, which will have dual SIMs, all of the carriers available. Typically, I only use AT&T and Verizon, in the markets that I'm working in because they usually have the strongest signal strength. And then there's a lot of upgrades and things you can do. We have our own contact center solution. We call it Star Center 3. It's our latest iteration of this, and this is, again, built from the ground up. And it fits incredibly well from very small up to a few hundred. You know, we're not going to do American Express or Visa. That's not our niche for that. We don't have omnichannel yet with respect to our call center application, but is moving towards that, and it's constantly under development. Out of the 400 or so employees, about 25% are software engineers, and so we are always working to advance the technology. Our framework, this is our immersive presence management, which is great for busy receptionists or anyone in the business. You want to know all of your employees, who's on the phone, who's off the phone. You can drag and drop, you can chat with them, you can do video with them, and you can see just a quick screen on the red, you're off the off hook, but all the people in the green are available. And so this is really a great tool for self-administration. Again, we have lots of reporting capabilities. And this is, you know, a place where you can go and see everything. We have our Star phones, again, Android or Apple iOS. What's cool about this, it publishes your work number versus your cell phone. I find anymore that people don't want to give their cell phone numbers out when everyone used to do that. They'd prefer to give out their desk number. We sell Telecom, VTech, Yealinks, Panasonic. We are the third largest purchaser of Telecom handsets in North America. We have a very tight relationship with them. The same with all of them, really. I mean, we sell a lot of Yealinks. Panasonic's mostly for cordless applications, retail, restaurants, things of that nature. And the on-site installation, again, professional. We're going to go at this, you know, we're going to do a site survey. We're going to test the circuit. We're going to pre-build the environment. It minimizes the opportunity for things to go poorly, right? And I won't tell you, you know, we are certainly, by no stretch of the imagination, perfect, but I can tell you, I believe we're better at this than everyone else. We have a single focus, and we do it extremely well. And you know, while we're not fanatical support like our friends at Rackspace, we do have great support. And I wish we could have stolen that. But again, you know, I work with a lot of really passionate people that care about what they're doing. And like I said, our success is built on yours. And so we want to do whatever we can to get in the trenches to help you to succeed and sell more UCaaS. And so our partner services team is responsible for all of the agents that don't do installation, because we have a handful that do, and they get paid directly for doing the installation. Maybe they're an MSP, they have, you know, techs, they have trucks and ladders, and those people that want to do it can come and get certified, and we will allow them to do their own installations as well as other agent partner installations. Once they've had 20 installations under their belt, they can move into our partner services group, where we have vetted them and we know. And I can tell you, in certain parts of the country, we have go-to people. Down here in Florida, we use a gentleman by the name of Brian Coomer at Gulf Tech. He's a former employee. The guy's a rock star. He doesn't leave until it's perfect. I don't care if the guy's got to be there till midnight. He's just not going to do. He's going to stay and make sure that it's a positive experience for everyone, that it all works. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a great partner here of TCG, and I can tell you that the partner got 90 grand up front, a trip to Hawaii, and you know, and it grows. It seems like almost every month, right? We're about 130 locations now, I think.
We are.
Yeah.
And we didn't make 90 grand ourselves.
No, yeah, I got paid once.
Well, and because TCG passes through 100% split, they made all the 90 grand.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Also, on the installer program, are you guys still accepting new installers too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, well, certainly. In fact, I know we just trained a few more just recently. Again, people that want to get involved in that, because, you know, 96% of telecom agents are never going to do an installation, right? You're just not built for that. You're sales and marketing groups. And so, but the people that do have staff and that want to do that, you know, we encourage that. And again, not only for their own customers, but for sales from other agents. Again, we want to find really good people, and I can tell you we have dedicated resources within 50 minutes of every MSA in America, and I know that's true because I had installations in Minot, North Dakota. And I didn't think that we'd ever have anyone, but we had a guy in North Dakota that did all 4 of the TV stations up there. And I was shocked. I thought we were going to have to fly someone in there. But again, everywhere in the country we can do the implementations. And again, this is all the responsibility for our team. They'll go through this, we'll do the porting, they'll do all of the grinding, you know, the hard work to make sure that it's a positive experience for everyone. That's our objective and our goal. And then from a field support group, Not only myself, Sean, Frank doing quotes on the inside, Laura, I'm in the field every week. There's no place I'd rather be than with a partner and in front of a customer. You know, that's like utopia for me personally. But we're out there in the trenches trying to do everything we can. I'm out there evangelizing, I'm teaching, coaching, mentoring, and trying to help close business for partners. And so we have a lot of people on the bench, and they're all at your disposal to do anything. And I can tell you, you can reach our president of our company, and she calls everyone back, man. She's relentless about that. Again, we're trying to provide a very high level of support. Sales engineers, we have an incredible team. Really bright people that are very good in front of customers, articulate, knowledgeable, and they will help you close business. And then what I want to do is I want Sean Corrigan to come up here. I'm going to hand this off and talk about our rich promotions, because we spend more money than any other hosted provider in the country. We own our intellectual property. I'm not paying Cisco 25 points, BroadSoft, or Metaswitch. And so we take that money and we give it to our partners in different forms. And so we have some very lucrative spiffs, and I'm going to let Sean tell you about those. Okay. Let me hand off this. Get it on this side. All right. Get in there, Slim. Sean's slimming up.
Yeah, Key West next week. Okay, I promise we're almost done. Just a few more slides, but this is the fun part, right? So Todd did a great job, as usual, talking about what makes us different, but everybody comes up here and tells you why they're special, right? Why they're different, what do they have to do? So we really think we have a better mousetrap, but the best part is the promos we pay. So every single quarter we come out with these new promos, and I wonder why I'm not a partner again. So I was a partner for 6 years with Star2Star, sold my company and came to work for Star2Star about 4 years ago. I've been with them about 10 years. I believed in the company that much that I decided to go work for them, hang my shingle with them. Been a great decision for me. We're from Ohio originally, moved down here about a year ago from Columbus, Ohio, so we love it down here. It's fantastic. But every quarter, these new promos, and I go to Michelle, our president, I'm like, man, I wonder if I should be an agent, go back out and start selling again instead of working for them. So really good stuff. We're going to go over these right now. So first of all, talk about the customer promo. So this is a promo you can offer to your customer. Now, you don't have to. There's some caveats, but right now what we're offering, and these promos now are good for the rest of the year. We should do quarterly. This is for the rest of the year. So on any contract your customer signs, if they sign a five-year deal, which believe it or not, a lot of our customers do, most of them, we're going to offer them 5 months free. 4-year deal, 4 months free. 3-year deal, 3 months free. Now, this is completely up to you. I will tell you, during that period, you will not get paid commission because we're not charging the customer anything. But if you need this to sell a deal, to help them get in, maybe they have a complex infrastructure, they don't want to pay 2 bills for a while, you can offer them whatever you want to offer them, okay? You don't need to give them 5 months. We have a lot of partners right now that say, hey, I'm going to give them 3 months free, but we still want to get the deal. So you let us know, and we'll help you fix out how many you want to do. 5 months is great. And here's the cool thing about it, too, is we don't do half months. Sign up a customer this month. Say we install on May 15th. We'll charge them for the rest of May. Then we'll give them June, July, and August for free. So they're going to get full months for free as well. Remember, you don't get commission during that period, but if you need that to sell a deal, we have that in your back pocket.
But you get your spiff.
Yeah, you are getting your spiff. So that'll be paid up front. So here we go, too, with Telecom right now. So every Telecom phone you sell, they're going to pay $7 for a 411, $15 for a 501, $20 for a 601, and $35 for that real trio presence. This is above and beyond all our other spiffs. So you sell a deal of 100 phones, and it's 411s, which is our most popular phone, then you're going to get an extra $700. And like Kevin mentioned, we pass through those spiffs to you guys. So again, quick way to make some extra money. But here's the big spiffs we're doing right now. So let me put this thing down here. For every deal you sell between now and the rest of the year, you're going to get 4x minimum right away on the MRC. So say the MRC is $2,000, $8,000 spiff paid as soon as the equipment ships. Not 6 months, not when it's installed. When we ship the equipment, 30 days later, we pay TCG, and they pay you on their scale. So 4x on every single deal. Now, 4x is good. Competitors can do 4x. We've done higher before, but here's the caveat. So 4x the rest of the year. Now we have these multipliers. So if you close the deal, it's 100 phones, and we install it before June 30th, an extra $30 per user. There's another $3,000 on top of the money you already got. And near the end of the year, we get done here, we're going to multiply it right here. So let me go over this really slowly for you guys. This is paid out. I'm going to be up clear right now. 4X paid right away. This spiff right here is paid February of next year because we're going to take it for the rest of the year, tally what you got, and give you one big, huge check, hopefully, right? So every deal that gets installed, Q2 is $30 a user, $20 in Q3, $10 in Q4. Why are we doing that? Because we want to recognize revenue sooner in the year than later in the year, right? So we're going to incentivize you to get deals in quicker and get them installed quicker. Then at the end of the year, we're going to look and see how many users you brought into us. And we're going to put you in one of these things. So if you bring in 100 users to 250, whatever we paid you for that spiff, we're going to double it. So if you made $4,000, now you just made $8,000 on top of the 4X you got earlier when you sold it. You get to 250, 3 times, 500, 4 times, 1,000 seats or more, which again, we sell a lot of deals with 1,000 seats or more, 5 times what we paid you. So to clarify, 4X right away, 30, 20, and $10 a user depending on what quarter we install it. At the end of the year, we're going to look at all the deals you sold. If you sold 500 seats, we're going to give you 3 times more what we paid you already then. So we're going to multiply it by 4 then. So pretty rich promos. And they're a little complicated. We're going to keep care of all that for you. Go ahead, sorry.
A little more in detail.
Yep.
So that I understand. So you're saying you guys can ignore it if you want.
Now you know I want to be an agent again. Go ahead.
So you're saying 4X up front.
Yep.
Explain again the total bonus user at the end.
Okay.
That's the part I'm not understanding.
So 4X up front, and then when we install that deal, so when we install it, the standard seats. So if we install a 100-seat deal in this quarter, we're going to pay you an extra $30 per seat, $3,000, okay? Third quarter, $20 a seat. Fourth quarter, $10 a seat, right? At the end of the year, we're going to look and see what we paid you. So we paid you $4,000. You have $4,000 we paid you. We're going to look and see how many users you brought in total. Yeah, seats user, sorry.
Okay, so that
Right here.
4X or the 2X, 3X, 4X, 5X of the 30, 20, or 10.
Yes. Yes. So we paid you $4,000. You brought in 300 seats. That's going to be 3X. You're going to get another $8,000. Okay. Yep.
So you say the 4X right away. Is there a minimum seat count required to get the 4X?
No. It's a minimum 3-year contract. There's some T's and C's around. Minimum 3-year contract. No, 5 phones is kind of our smallest order, but so any phone order will qualify. But 3-year contract is our minimum for that promo. Go ahead.
So, as far as the actual product, the UCAS product, what do you offer in terms of, so say somebody doesn't really need a contact center seat, they want a regular seat.
This is standard seats. It's not contact center seats. Standard seats.
Standard.
Standard.
Unlimited minutes.
Yeah, our basic seat comes with the find me, follow me, all the cool stuff, voicemail to email like everybody has. It also comes with a soft phone for your laptop and the mobile app and unlimited calling. That's a standard seat. So the only seats you're not going to get credit for are like conference room phones we call courtesy extensions. So those don't qualify for the bonuses. But if you sell 20 phones, mostly 19 are standard seats, 1 conference room, 1 kitchen room phone, things like that we won't pay. But a standard seat, not a call center seat.
Right, but as far as the model, I guess if you want to call it the seat to extension model.
Yeah.
Line, so say you have somebody that has 60 users,
Yep.
but they only need 20 lines.
So if we're doing our line, so that's a great question. So if we're doing our line, pulling and bursting, and not the seat model, then you're getting credit for 20.
Gotcha.
That's a great question, though. Yeah. Any other questions? Go ahead.
As far as analytics,
Yes.
what is it that you guys provide on the standard basic seats? Like, is it just regular inbound, outbound, duration of calls, or can you take a deeper dive?
Well, they're deeper dives. So we have a couple different reporting mechanisms. So we have your normal CDR reports that come for free, inbound, outbound, who they talk to, how long they talked for the phone, that kind of stuff, right? And then we have detailed, which is called Star Reporter. A little bit more detailed. It's like $5 a month, a little extra, but you get canned reports. You can schedule them. They can be waiting for you every day you come in the office, that kind of stuff. And then if you get to our call center, then it's a whole different level of abandoned calls, that kind of stuff. Okay?
So to follow up on that question, what it comes with it, is that just like bulk information? It's not formatted in any
No, it's formatted. It's in our web GUI. You can download it in Excel, download it in PDF, do whatever you want to do with it. Yep. It's searchable. You know what extension, the period of time, all that kind of stuff. And we keep things forever. We archive them.
So as far as the installation,
Yep.
say we don't do it as the agent, we're not certified or whatever.
Okay.
You get an installer. What does that cost the customer?
No, that's already built in the cost. When we do a quote, the cost for partner services, like Todd alluded to on our second to last slide, is included in our price. If you're doing the install, if you become certified, then you tell Frank how much you want to make, and we do that for you. But it's going to be presented to the customer as an all done money, no extra stuff.
So that
This is your last question. You can't answer anymore. Okay.
this is my last question.
Okay, good.
So about the price.
Yep.
We talked about everything else. What are we looking at per seat then?
It depends, right? It depends on how many seats. Our average cost probably on a 20 to 40, $25, $26 all in. Everything, the seat, the phone, the installation, training, switches, everything. So we're very, very comparable. And that kind of model, you want to make some more money, we mark it up. You want to mark it down, whatever. We've been down as low as $18 and $19 when we get to be 100, 200 seats. We're very, very aggressive. We won't lose on price. So it gives opportunity. Yeah.
If you can provide competitive information and it's apples to apples, we will not lose it over money. Now, we don't like to do that because we're selling value. However, sometimes you get into some larger deals and it's just the competitive nature of what we do, right? But we're not going to lose it over money, I can tell you that. And at the end of the day, we can compete with anyone because, again, we own the intellectual property.
The point being that we are small enough that you guys can talk to the owner. We can call Michelle up right now, but big enough that we can support customers with 16, 17,000 locations. So I can call Michelle right now and say, I have a deal. It's 100 phones. We need to be at 20 hours phone. She'll be like, do it. I don't need to call my used car sales manager. We can just get it done. So it's a little bit different, you know. Go ahead, sir.
Are the phones purchased, leased, or rented?
Great question. Either or. So we offer a purchase, we offer a lease, and we offer all inclusive. That's rental. I can't say rental. All inclusive is our rental program. So either way, so they can buy either way. And as Todd mentioned, either way they buy from us, everything's covered for life.
Okay.
Yeah. We can even adopt phones and they're covered for life. Another big thing. So
And the $7 split you have on phones?
yes.
That includes no matter what model?
No, Polycom 411 is where it starts.
I mean, that's what I meant.
Yeah. 411 is $7.
Purchase, is it?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't that? Yeah, Greg. It does not matter.
Okay, one more question.
Yep.
The Starbucks,
Yes.
dual power supplies, do you ever run into needing redundancy for high critical?
So great question. Only one power supply, next day replacement. However, in areas where it's mission critical, they're not down, we sell a cold storage box. They have 2 boxes and just got to swap out the IP addresses and we're done.
I got you.
Yep.
Any issue, I mean, if you wanted a dual one, did you guys do that?
We don't offer a dual one. We don't offer a high A one. But again, a lot of our customers will get a spare one. We'll leave it in the rack ready to go and we just swip it over, log in, change the IP address and we're good to go.
And what's interesting too is the Starbucks has no moving parts, right? Except for our largest chassis has 2 fans. Solid state, very low.
Linux.
What
Yep.
kills them is lightning strikes.
Right.
Yep.
And down here, obviously, we have that. So we tell everyone, mission critical, and if you operate over the weekends, right, because we can't ship on a Sunday, right, for next business day. So if you have a problem on a Saturday night, we tell them, just let's add a cold spare, because then all you do is swap the cables, it'll download the file configuration, in about 12 to 15 minutes, you're back in business versus being down.
In the meantime, though,
We have a 1-inch hole in a PBX to show lightning strikes, so yeah.
yeah. Remember, in the meantime, though, we are the host department, so calls go to cell phones. They're not missing calls.
Okay.
They just lose the ability to make an outbound call because our Starbucks is down.
Do you guys have any issues with 911 with the
No, we do enhanced 911, zone 911. So we can do zones. So we're doing a lot of schools where they want to know what classroom they're calling from.
right.
So not only can we have it show the classroom when it goes out to the PSAP, it also alerts key members in that school that the 911 call has been dialed as well. So we have that ability as well, which is pretty cool. That's a newer type of thing that we just developed.
announcements or the speaker systems with
Yep.
the schools? You guys, is it an outside?
Yeah, we're going to put a SNOM PA. We're going to integrate with it like a Vulcan or here's the cool thing, though. That Todd mentioned, remember our local survivability, which is huge? Schools are loving it. The internet goes down, they can still page internally, can still call internally. When a true host of the internet's down, they can't even communicate internally. That's a big thing for schools, manufacturing, where you can have a possible issue on the floor and you want to be able to communicate an emergency situation over a page, which you couldn't do in a true hosted.
I got a quote. I need UPS to do.
Excellent. I'll give you my card when we're done. Any questions? I thought somebody had their hand up. Go ahead. Got it. Got it.
Can I take his question?
Oh, no, you're done. Now we're starting to charge for questions. I got a flight to catch pretty soon. No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The Starbucks, I remember you guys mentioned several times that it's
Well, the SD-WAN portion is for voice only. We want to.
Cannot do basically put 2 circuits in there to
You absolutely can. So the SD-WAN product can do that, right? Up to 4 circuits. Our SD-WAN product can do what you're asking. However, some customers just want to use our failover. More of an active-passive connection. They'll put their own router in place and then hand off to ours, and then they can back up the data as well as the voice. We're saying we offer you dual WAN failover for voice only without any other equipment. You're going to manage the firewall and you have a dual WAN connection. You can come into our backup port and we can work that way, and both of them will fail over. We fail over to each other sometimes. But then it's an active-passive connection, right? SD-WAN gives you the active-active, which is the benefit. Did you have one? Okay, excellent. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate your time. So.